Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Vinny here with another great business to discuss on this episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. Today's guest is Todd, and he's selling his Amazon, FBA, and e-commerce business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. So welcome to the show, Todd, and how are you doing today?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing well. Appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, really looking forward to talking more about your business. Just before we dive in, let's go over a brief summary of the business. So it's a Amazon, FBA, and e-commerce business in the outdoors niche, created in December 2016. The average monthly revenue for the business is $53,896 and makes an average of $10,348 per month in net profit. The assets included in the sale are the domain and all site and content and files, a trademark, 5 different social media accounts, SOPs, and supplier contracts and relationships. The US Amazon account will be included in the sale, and any EU Amazon account listings will be included as a listing transfer, as per EU regulations require. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing 47127 to learn more about the business, or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So now that I've given a general overview of the business, Todd, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses before you started this one?
Yeah, so I've always had sort of a interest in starting businesses. You know, my wife and I started and built a business in a similar industry, but different from the outdoors. And we were successful enough to be able to sell that business, both running it online from our site and from an Amazon FBA perspective. And this would be our second business that we've built and now selling as we are global and using and obviously utilizing all the platforms with Amazon's global network.
That sounds fantastic. Sounds like you've built up a lot of experience in running this type of business model. For some of the listeners who are new to the industry, why would you suggest that Amazon FBA is great for those interested in online business?
So FBA has basically created a structure that's completely streamlined from start to finish. It's built like an infrastructure never seen in e-commerce before, which is why they grab 50% of online market share in purchases. Have a supply chain that is one of the most remarkable things I've seen. They have these warehouses that are across the country that position your stock to be able to 2-day, in some cases 1 or same day, your items to customers by just being a Prime member. And that infrastructure across the US and now Europe, and have started in places like Australia and Japan and Mexico and Canada, have grown this same model globally. And it's a really keen opportunity for sellers because it removes sort of the customer service and supply chain headache that was before, and now they sort of take care of all of it. And it's really welcoming because it really minimizes your time that you have to give towards the business and allows you to focus on key components of the business like design and sourcing.
Yeah, that's a really, really great answer. That's really valuable for people who might be considering what type of business to start. Now, Todd, I wanted to ask you, considering that your business is generating a really healthy revenue stream and has a good number of sales, why are you selling the business instead of keeping it or growing it right now?
There's a lot of things going on. Never a great moment or a terrible moment to sell a business, but usually it comes down to a personal choice. For me, that personal choice, there was a really important family member that I lost, and that has caused me to reshift my focus and prioritize my family over a really strong growing business. Secondly, I'm doing my doctorate at a university in the US, and PhD is never easy to focus on, and doing research and collecting data. And the dissertation year is around the corner. And so that would mean quite a bit of data collection and data analysis and, a growing business that we have globally currently is not at the top of my focus at the moment. And so to be able to hand off a business to somebody who primarily focuses on businesses that are in this mid-range and growing them to the next level would probably be a better handoff. I'm more in the style of incubating a business and starting it from its fetal stages and creating sort of a brand and brand recognition. And, that sort of stage is past. And I feel like I'm just ready to go into a new stage that requires a little bit less time so that I can prioritize my family during this time.
Yeah, well, sorry to hear about your loss, Todd. I mean, it does sound like you've got a lot on your plate right now. So, yeah, it does make sense to hand off the business to someone else so that they can maintain it or grow it instead. Looking back on your experience, is there anything that you learned from building this business that you would apply to future sites or businesses?
Yeah, there's always things that you take away from previous businesses that sort of shortens the time frame to grow a business. Last business took us almost 10 years. And this one is sort of around that 3-year mark. And so, it's sites like Amazon that really, shorten the time frame for supply chain and really help grow revenue based on being able to reach customers that are within your niche and searching directly for your product, where you used to have to go out and grab those customers through SEO and Google and other sites. And sort of this funnel into Amazon has its downside, but also it has its positives, and everybody's on the same platform. And, that's probably the biggest key, is to get onto the FBA platform is the biggest recommendation I have for any seller looking to monetize a product they have in the e-commerce sector of online sales. And so that would be number one. And then just looking at how different trends with keywords and how to sort of really optimize your listing. It still has sort of the same premises of what an SEO Google platform might look like. So just, putting your focus towards optimizing your listings on Amazon is somewhere where I'd highly recommend either a potential buyer for this business or someone else that's just starting out.
Yeah, that's great. Lots of actionable points there. Speaking of keywords, what do you currently do in terms of marketing for this business?
So the marketing is sort of a reduced footprint in our model right now. There's always a thrust in marketing, what's called a PPC campaign on Amazon. And, when you launch a product, you primarily want to target keywords that you feel are best suited and geared towards someone finding your product. And once you highly target those, you're going to want to increase your bid for that keyword. And Amazon really looks to promote your product in the first couple weeks that you launch. And so targeting that keyword and putting a strong bid, and unfortunately that does cost quite a bit of money. But like I said, reducing that footprint over the duration of the listing is possible and even can be completely distinguished and put away. And so we've been able to reduce some footprints of our listings down to 0. And so, yeah, the keywords are important at the beginning, and then, monitoring what new keywords might be searched and staying on top of it. But that's definitely what we put our money towards, is the PPC campaigns with Amazon.
Right, that's fantastic. Now, Todd, you touched on this earlier, but I just want to explore about opportunities with potential buyers just in a bit more detail. If you were to keep the business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
One area that is at the top of our list, all the entrepreneurs always have a to-do list, and one key focus for us is wholesale orders. That's something that's sort of eluded us over these last couple of years running the business. You get such tunnel vision with Amazon sometimes that your FBA focus consumes 100% of your attention, which sometimes can be, not benefiting other areas that you're maybe neglecting. And one of those areas is wholesale orders. That's something that we feel like adds a lot of revenue, and it adds it quickly. So, there's contracts out there for military, for promo businesses that, print stuff for companies, big business, big retail, big box, stuff like that. And so we feel like that's a great revenue generator and something that we've, again, neglected over the last few years. We've had a few of those orders where it's just, they'll purchase 400 at a time, and it will add 10, 15 grand right off the rip. So we never pursued that subsequently after those orders, even though we always had it at the top of the list. We have a really good system with what we're doing now, and it's worked out for us.
Great, that's a really thorough explanation. Thanks for giving that. Can you describe the amount and type of work that you do on this site for maintenance right now?
We're a seasonal business. Australia or some of these opposite season countries have helped minimize that. But, for the bulk of it, we are seasonal. And so you'll see rises in the amount of hours that you work per week or per day. And it varies. Like I said, Amazon takes care of all the customer service, which means the returns and refunds and things of that nature. So it really frees you up to do a lot of things that you might be focused on. For me, I like product design. So that includes, traveling to origin and sourcing products and looking at them and figuring out how to make them better. And so, in that time of year, it might be October that you do that. You might go to the Canton Fair. You might go to some of the expos in Utah, or, there's so many different varieties. There's a big one in Germany for an outdoor expo. And so you want to do that and really make sure that you have so that, anytime like you're doing that, it could take, a 20 to 40 hour work week. But, once you've designed it and Christmas has come and gone, January, February, March is just a really quiet time. You might only work 1 or 2 hours a day. And so, in the thick of it, for summer for us, it might only be a few hours a day, only because you've already done all the legwork to get the product into the FBA warehouses. It's just now about selling and maintaining inventory. So, you might see a slight increase where it's, 3, 4, 5 hours a day, but it's generally a broad spectrum that you'd see it across an entire year. But, if you were to take sort of the average, it's something like 3 or 4 hours a day.
That's great. Thanks for that, Todd. So let me ask you, what do you think some of the biggest risks with this site that a buyer should be aware of?
The risks, well, there's always risks in business. To say there's never a downside, neglecting new trends, things like that is always a risk. There's challenges as well. It's no secret that the pandemic with the coronavirus has caused numerous challenges, not only with small business like us, but with Amazon as well. So Amazon, was facing some major supply chain hindrances, and, it caused a lot of delays in shipping and even some of the listings to go down. And so that has been a major focus of a lot of the sellers to sort of mitigate what some of those shortcomings have been for Amazon. But the encouraging part is that we've gotten through it. It seems like Amazon is now taking inventory again on their docks, and some of the lead times back to the normal, what Prime members are used to, that 1, 2, 3 day area, are all back, and the listings are back up. So, those types of things like a pandemic, a risk, things like that, they could always be right around the corner, and sort of preparing for that is always a good thing. And luckily we had diversified our inventory across multiple platforms so that we weren't entirely pigeonholed on one particular platform, like either the US or Canada or Europe. Collectively, those sites came together to, put us in a good spot to weather the storm.
Mm-hmm. Sure, that's great. Just a few wrap-up questions for you then. How much support are you offering buyers?
That's something that I'm strongly advocating for. We definitely don't want to just pass this off and, give them a pat on the back and say, great luck, let us know how things go. But, we sort of want to oversee and make sure that the business still succeeds. It's, very personal to us. Whenever we design a brand, we really put our heart into it, where, the meaning of everything down to the logo and the caption of the words and the translations. And it means a lot to my wife and I. And so, there'll be some hand holding after, depending on how much experience they have with the FBA business. But, we do strongly feel that would give whatever's necessary to the buyer so that they feel they are in the driver's seat moving forward. So, that there's the terms of service with Empire Flippers was something like 30 days for a minimum of something like 10 hours a week of, forget exactly what it was. But if there's some additional requirements of us, we definitely do not have a problem in making sure that we see it through with the new potential buyer.
Yeah, that's great. I'm sure the potential buyer will be really happy to hear that you're willing to offer such, to go beyond in terms of your level of support. Would you commit to a non-compete?
Definitely. Yeah, that's something that, with our last business we sold, we committed to and lived up to. And, we do feel that it's necessary with the sale of a business. And so we'd definitely be willing to do that.
And are you open to negotiating something like an earnout?
For the earnout, we wouldn't. We feel like at this price, it's slightly smaller in the range of e-commerce business, especially with FBA. And so we don't feel like an earnout component is necessary. And so this would be on the smaller side for us. So we're definitely not looking for an earnout.
Okay. Just a few deeper questions for the podcast. Is there anyone who inspired you while you were building this business that our listeners might like as well? So this could be communities or YouTubers, or other people who are great resources for Amazon FBA.
First and foremost, obviously, our faith is most important for us and my wife and I. And so that's a great inspiration for us to always have our patience and treat everybody with kindness and respect. And so our faith has definitely guided us first and foremost. Secondly, my dad is by far the most important thing for me moving this business in the direction it went. Sadly, he was the one that passed away. And so, I attribute everything I do to him and what he's taught me and the entrepreneur that he was. So, I find absolute joy in being able to both sell the business, but sell also on a daily basis, running the company as well. So those might seem like generic answers, but for me, those two things definitely mean the most to me.
No, that's great. Thank you for sharing, Todd. Were there any tools or software that really helped you at the start of running this business?
To start, no. We sort of had a base in what the FBA model looked like and how to sort of optimize listings. Amazon switches their algorithm almost yearly. And so we've played a lot of catch up lately. And, tools such as Helium 10, Upwork has been a great help in being able to find freelancers who can do great work at minimal cost. With the Helium 10, some of the plugins and stuff, being able to search keywords and whatnot, that's always been a huge help lately in understanding the new algorithm with Amazon. And so, yeah, those are just a few off the top of my head that have really helped us and encouraged us lately to sort of regain some of the optimization that we might have lost previously.
Right, sounds good. Last question for you then. Putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
So just the way that we've set it up, and the fact that it's already has solid factories that are already producing, it already has the freight forwarder and the supply chain to be able to get it into the FBA warehouses and to get the business going. And there's really just an on-off button the way that we've set up the business. And we've been able to really capitalize on that and streamline the business quite well. Just from me and maybe somebody not entirely into outdoors as I am, but just the cool factor of owning an outdoor business. I mean, it doesn't get much cooler than that. It's just a really great business to be in. And it's something that I highly recommend to anybody that out there that wants to own something that they believe in and can enjoy the products and use it on a daily basis. That's always helpful when you own a brand that you believe in. And so, we have some new SKUs coming out that we worked really, really, really hard on these last year and traveling quite a bit to go find these products. And some of them are being released. Some of them we're still working on a little bit longer, but that's sort of, presented to the new buyer already without having to do some of that legwork that we've already done. And so, yeah, that's in a nutshell how the business is, profitable and streamlined for a potential new buyer.
Awesome. Is there anything that you'd like to share that you think I might have missed?
No, just enjoy the process. This is supposed to be a fun experience for both the buyer and the seller. I think both parties can benefit from it. And like I said, we're willing to put in the 2 cents and the effort to be able to help a potential new buyer, both look at the business, and with our transparencies, we're extremely open. There's never a question too offensive. We are more than open to answer and reveal anything that the business has done. We're willing to provide whatever access you need, because that is at the forefront of our desires with selling the business, to make sure that the potential buyer feels absolutely comfortable. And secondly, just being able to sort of shepherd them through that next process of buying it and then feeling comfortable and sort of getting them a driver's seat and moving forward. So that's sort of my parting words and my 2 cents about the business moving forward.
That's great, Todd. Well, we're wishing that your business gets sold very soon and all the best with your future endeavors.
Appreciate it. Really do.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 47127. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.